have to ask about Vanderpump Rules. I know you guys have started filming the new season already after an
We
extended.
finished.
You
We
finished. All right.
I mean, we have a couple of interviews to do, you know, things that like confessionals, but no, we finished, and it didn't disappoint, but then it never does. You've got a lot of people there with a lot of opinions, authentic friendships, and they have no problem in sharing them. So yeah, there was a few unresolved issues from the season before, and that, you know, kind of ignited some different feelings. But also there was a lot of funny stuff this year as well. It was funny stuff.
I'm just curious for you, like, you know, it's clear a lot of the current cast members are still friendly with the ones who are no longer on the show. Does that make it difficult at any point, or is it easy to kind of keep them out of sight, out of mind? And was the adjustment maybe smoother than you anticipated?
That's a good question. I haven't really had any involvement with any of the cast members. I ran into Stacy. I'd reached out to Stacy a couple of times, and she'd kind of ignored me, but not that I was, you know, responsible for. It's not my decision. And I ran into her, and she was friendly. I ran into her very recently, actually, and she was very friendly, and I wished them well, you know, that's for sure. We were good to them, and they were good for the show. So, you know, but it was time that Bravo called them on their you know, their actions. And as we know, actions have consequences, and they certainly did. Jackson, Brittany, I've definitely reached out to them and sent them baby gifts because they were part of our, you know, family. And I sent, you know, had baby gifts for the other two little girls. So of course I wanted to do that, and had things embroidered with the name Cruz and sent to them and stuff. But no, the story very much, not everybody in the cast is friendly or that close to somebody. So they have their own stories. You don't really notice
or
it.
even to each other sometimes. So
yeah, exactly. But you know, it's a story that keeps going. And it's always different, which is, it should be. I don't want to see a rerun of what's happened before.
No, you want to shake it up. Who would you say is maybe the biggest pot stirrer now, having filmed this past season? Has it changed?
It's not the pot stirrer. It's the fact that they have deep feelings, that they just differ, you know, and also things were said during the pandemic on podcasts and things like that that ignited things. And then situations were different as they were starting to venture out on their own. So there's a lot of strong people with different opinions, and that always ignites the situation. It's a great season. It's very well produced,
for it.
you know, because it's also, it's about the fast-paced, you know, the momentum of the show. It's about the music and the, you know, editing of how quick and how it feels. It's never been a laborious show. So yeah, it's going to be exciting new season. You're going to love it.
And I wanted to congratulate you and your family on the baby to come from Pandora as well.
Thank you.
Congrats to you all. Just, I guess, how do you feel about becoming a grandmother, and how did you come up with the nickname Nanny Pinky?
I think Tandy and I discussed that quite a while ago. That was just, the title I think they thought was perfect. I feel very excited, you know, having suffered a lot of loss in our family with my mother and my brother and Jiggy, who was like a baby to us, you know, but whose legacy is the Vanderpump Dog Foundation. It's just great to have some good news, because life there's been a lot of knocks over having business closed and, you know, emotional things as well with losing family members. So yeah, it's good to have some positive news.
And other positive news, I know you're expanding in Vegas as well, opening another restaurant at the Paris Hotel. Just, I guess, what will set that apart? And do you think we might get a Vegas-based spinoff at some point?
Oh gosh, maybe. Vanderpump Cocktail Garden has been so successful in Caesars. We have such a great relationship with Caesars, and people really love the visuals and the ambiance. And I think it's been really kind of well received in Vegas.
That's
And
fun.
you
I've
know,
been.
everything, huh?
It's fun. I've been.
Yeah, and it's visually great, and it's like an oasis in the middle of the casino floor there.
Mhm.
And Nicolene and I have collaborated on our Vanderpump Lane line, which has been doing well. We're showing at Las Vegas Market this weekend.
Okay.
So we're creating Vanderpump à Paris in Paris, the hotel. And I lived in France for many years, so it's going to be great to have a bit of a French kind of, restaurant. It's going to be more of a bar with food, French
Okay.
food. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's not going to be a serious French restaurant. No, it's going to be full of ambiance and it's going to be great visuals. And I'm excited about it.
That's what we need in Vegas. And, just lastly, just speaking about your LA restaurants real quick, I know you recently announced that you're, asking for proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test before, letting people in, which I think is fantastic. And thank you for doing that as someone who lives in LA. But I know I've also seen other people, it's like, Vicky Gumbelson's fiance, kind of taking the other stance, saying that it's like infringing on their rights. I'm just curious if you have anything
Well,
to
then they
say
have
to
a right
those.
not to go. So they should use
Exactly.
that right. But I have a right to protect my staff and my customers. Now,
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a mandatory vaccination. I would like to, but we
Yeah.
can't because people have their own, choice. But I am saying that we want to see a negative test because, I'm protective of the situation. I was one of the last ones to open out of everybody, especially Tom Tom, because it was more of a bar feel, and
Yeah.
I'm protective about it. But when Vicky Gumbelson's boyfriend's comparing Ebola, Ebola was a terribly contagious disease. I spoke with the United Nations about it and talked about it. Every one of these diseases are global problems, as we've
Yeah.
seen. Look at the Delta variant, the way it came from India and it's multiplied so quickly. But the last time, if 6 million people or 600,000 people in America had died from Ebola, trust me, I would want an Ebola vaccine as well before you came into my restaurant. But that wasn't the way. So making those kind of comparisons is bullshit. And I don't really have much to say. But as I say, take his rights and go somewhere else. And I'm happy with that. I'm not going to miss him.
No, and I'm happy to see how seriously WeHo in general has taken it. So kudos
Yeah, and
to
I
all
think
of
LA
you.
County is probably going to go the way soon of, it's going to be that situation. There's so many people that can't be vaccinated,
Yeah.
that are going to suffer because of this. Young children or people with immune diseases that can't be. I have a couple of friends that cannot be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I really feel for them because it's precarious out there if you can't be. And how are they going to live their life? And when people talk about, well, it's the vaccines, we eradicated polio and chickenpox. And who was it? It was somebody really young was saying, well, what's chickenpox? Exactly.
Right.
I hope my
These work.
grandchildren will say, what's COVID? Exactly, because we need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So yes, I am pro-vaccine very much. And if
Good.
people are going to go on my social media and call me a Gestapo, carry on. It's not going to change my point of view.
That's
I
what I
have
like to
a
hear.
husband that's 76 and I'm protected myself and my daughter's pregnant. And we will do everything we can to stay safe. And I have faith in the government that they know a lot more than I do sitting at home.
Yes.
So yes, and I've been vaccinated against everything since I was a child. And here I am.
Doing great, looking great, and always a pleasure to speak with you, Lisa. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.
Of course. Thank you so much.